This conference will now be recorded.
Hello students, I'm Dr. Divya from TeenEinstein. Now we are doing a quick review of biological classification, second chapter in 11th standard. And here we know that mainly we need to learn about five kingdom classification and main features of this classification. And mainly we are learning about different kingdoms like Monera, Protista, fungi, and then about plant kingdom and animal kingdom. But in this chapter we are not learning in detail about the plant and animal kingdom because we have a separate chapter to learn about that. It's a very vast kingdom. Which one? The animal kingdom and plant kingdom, we have to learn in detail about that. So that is another chapter. And next, other than these main kingdoms, we need to learn about virus, viroids, and lichens also. Okay, so here first of all, we have learned about the classifications. Which are the main classifications? Artificial system of classification, then natural system of classification, and the phylogenetic system of classification. So about all these three classification systems we have discussed in the previous sessions, and here this is the last part of discussing the topics, and next part onwards we'll be moving to, and after this part we'll be moving to the previous year questions, so that you will get an overall idea about this chapter and the topics which are coming under this chapter. Okay, then next we discussed about the five kingdom classification, which is the most accepted classification system, and it was proposed by Whittaker. And in this we are learning about five different kingdoms like Monera, Protista, Plantae, Fungi, Animalia. So how it goes? Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. These are the five main kingdoms. And in this we have learned about Kingdom Monera. And in Kingdom Monera, that is having two major groups like Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. About this we have already discussed, and the basic structural component of bacterial cell, and which are the structures that are present in bacteria, like occasionally which and all the structures which will be present in bacteria, and some other microorganisms about cyanobacteria, actinomycetes, and mycoplasma. About all these we have learned under this. Okay, so Archaebacteria and which one? Eubacteria. About both we have learned under Monera. Then Kingdom Protista. Uh, Kingdom Protista means this includes single-celled eukaryotes. They are eukaryotes, but they are single-celled eukaryotes. Okay, you should remember in this way: single-celled eukaryotes. And here, protist, that is divided into plant-like protist, then fungus-like protist, and animal-like protist. So here you need to learn, under plant-like protist you will get diatoms, dinoflagellates, and euglenoids. Fungus-like protist, uh, that is slim molds. Okay, so fungus like protists, you need to learn about slim molds. Then animal like protists or protozoans. Okay, all these features plus example you need to learn. Then we move to kingdom fungi, and this kingdom fungi is divided into four major classes, and that is based on the mycelium morphology, then spore formation methods and all. Then based on the fruiting body. So based on the morphology and the fruiting body and the mode of spore formation, based on that, kingdom fungi is classified into four classes. Which are the four classes? Phycomycetes, then ascomycetes, then basidiomycetes, and last one deuteromycetes. Okay, then here one main term, that is heterothallism, you need to learn here. Okay, then economic importance of fungi, that is also very important. Then we move to kingdom plantae. Here kingdom plantae means, you know that this kingdom plantae, they are non-motile, they are multicellular, and they have cellulosic cell wall, that's why motility is restricted. And some algal forms which are coming under kingdom plantae, they are showing motility. And this kingdom plantae that include algae, in this also classification is there under kingdom plantae: algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms, angiosperms. This is the classification of kingdom plantae. Then what we have learned in kingdom animalia, there, and in kingdom plantae, main thing which we need to mention, they are autotrophs. They're doing photosynthesis, they're synthesizing their own food. And in kingdom animalia, here we need to mention specifically, we need to write that they are heterotrophs. Okay, they're heterotrophs, and they lack cellulosic cell wall. Okay, here kingdom animalia, they don't have the cell wall, cellulosic cell wall. They don't have the cell wall which is made up of cellulose, that is axon, so that is helping them for the movement, because their that helps for the motility. Okay, and various structural organs like flagella, legs, and all these, in depending upon the motility, the organs which are helping for the movement, that is depending upon the type of organism which is present. Okay, so this kingdom that is having different type of growth pattern, and they have, in the higher ones, in the higher organism, they have elaborate sensory and neuromotor mechanism that you need to mention. In the highly evolved ones, they have sensory mechanism and neuromotor mechanism. Clear? Then we said about a six kingdom classification and a seven kingdom classification also. The six kingdom classification that is proposed by Carl Woese, and in that kingdom Monera, that is further divided into archaebacteria and eubacteria. That's why one extra kingdom came there. Okay, and the seven kingdom classification that was proposed by Roos in 2002 and 2005, and in that classification, seven kingdoms. Which are the seven kingdoms? Protonema, just we said about the archaebacteria, that they classified as protonema. Then kingdom monera, in that they mention only eubacteria. Okay, archaebacteria they made as a separate kingdom like protonema. Then protista, then myxomycophyta, slime molds. Okay, slime molds, they made a separate kingdom. Then comes fungi, plantae, and animalia. Okay, then in the previous part we discussed about viruses which were discovered by Ivanovsky, and the term virus that was given by Pasteur. Okay, so we know that they are very microscopic organisms, and they have highly infectious nature. And when it is entering to the host cell, up to entering the host cell, it will be in an inert form, and when it is entering to the host cell, it will become active, and outside the host cell, it will be like inert particle. And they have a genetic material, and the genetic material is covered by a, a protein coat which is called as capsid. And sometimes the virus may have the envelope and sometimes may not have the envelope, and that capsid, it is made up of subunits which is called as capsomeres. And the genetic material of the nucleic acid, that is in the form of nucleoid. Okay, and when this nucleic acid material or the nucleoid that is connecting with the host cell, that will start working. And virus, their reproduction, that is in two cycles, lytic cycle and lysogenic cycle. And viruses, they are causing many severe diseases in plants and animals. In animals, like hepatitis, Ebola, HIV, COVID, then herpes virus, rabies virus, like that many viruses are there. And in plants also, curling of the leaf, yellowing of leaf. So all these are caused by different types of viruses. Next, we need to move to viroids. Okay, so the term viroid, this term was introduced by T.O. Dehner. Dehner. The term viroid was introduced by T.O. Dehner, and viroids are the smallest known agents of infectious diseases. Okay, these are the smallest agents of infectious diseases. Okay, and these viroids, they may cause spindle tuber disease. You have to note down all these diseases, mark all these things, because this kind of diseases you will get confused. Don't you'll get an option like virus, viroids, or something, some other options also you'll get. Don't get confused. Viroids, they are the smallest known agents. They are the agents of infectious diseases, smallest known agents of infectious diseases, and they cause the potato spindle tuber disease, then chrysanthemum stunt disease, chrysanthemum stunt disease, then citrus exocotis, citrus exocotis disease. All these in plants. Okay, don't get confused. We said tuber disease in potato, chrysanthemum, that is also plant, and citrus. So all these are plants, and they are causing diseases in plants. And they have these viroids. They are only a naked strand of nucleic acid. Okay, strand of nucleic acid. Just one strand of nucleic acid they have. There is no coating, no covering, nothing. So they have a naked strand of nucleic acid which is RNA. Okay, ribonucleic acid. So without any protein coat, there is no protein coat. That is a naked strand of nucleic acid. Nucleic acid means RNA, which doesn't have any coating, any protein coat. It's not there. Okay, so it's a naked strand of nucleic acid. And the naked uh, pathogenic protein molecules, they are called as prions. What is prion? Naked pathogenic protein molecule. That is called as prion. Okay, so here this prion you should note down. That's a very important point in this chapter. Prions, viroids, all these things you need to learn. Next comes lichens. Okay, so lichens means they are the symbiotic association between algae and fungi. Symbiotic association between algae and fungi. So these lichens are the symbiotic association between algae and fungi, and here both the algae and fungi. We said association of algae with fungi. So when they are associating, whether they are getting any benefit? Yes, of course, both are getting mutual benefits. Both are mutually benefited here. Okay, so there is a mutual benefit for them. They have a the fungi and the algae, they are having a symbiotic association and where they mutually benefit each other. Okay, that is called as lichens. Here, the algal component in the symbiotic association of algae and fungi, which is called as lichen, the algal component is called as phycobiont. Algal component is called as phycobiont. Okay, and this phycobiont is autotrophic, that is synthesizing food. But here the fungal component that is called as mycobiont. Okay, mycobiome, and this is heterotrophic. Okay, so here symbiotic association between algae and fungi, that is called as lichen, and both are getting mutual benefits. The algal component is called as phycobiont, which is having the autotrophic nature, and the fungal component, which is called as mycobiont, that is heterotrophic in nature. Okay, so these are the main topics which we want to learn in the chapter 2, biological classification. And we have done almost all the quick review of this chapter. Here, another thing, next we can move to the previous year questions. But before that, I just want to tell the character wise, the different characteristics of each kingdom. So here itself, I'll tell you first one, which and all characters we are considering here. Cell type. See, in kingdom Monera, how we can say the cell type, whether it is a prokaryote or eukaryote. Here, kingdom Monera, you can say about Monera. First, we will tell. Okay, this is what I'm saying. For a fast reading, you need to make a table. Cell type is prokaryotic. In which one? In kingdom Monera. And next, Body complexity. Body complexity, this one by one if you're learning means you won't understand, so better to make a table and compare each and every kingdom. Kingdom Monera, next column will be kingdom Protista, next will be kingdom Fungi, then Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. Okay, so in the cell type you need to write kingdom Monera, they're prokaryotes, you can see. Okay, and what about the complexity of the body? Unicellular, you can see unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular to multicellular type of complexity you can see. And the tissue system. Tissues are present or absent in kingdom Monera. Tissue system is absent because this is the lowest level, right? So tissue system is absent. Then what is the ecological role? See, if you're learning this table, you can answer almost all the questions, all the natures, everything we are explaining here, right? Ecological role, they are either producers, they're working as producers or decomposers. Okay, then what about cell wall? Monerans, they are having cell wall or not? They have cell wall, but that is non-cellulosic. It's not made up of cellulose. They have cell wall, but it is non-cellulosic and it's made up of peptidoglycan. Okay. Then what about chloroplast? We said they are prokaryotic. So what about chloroplast? It will be present, right? And what about the nutrition? They are autotrophic or heterotrophic. And motility, we said they have motility. About the motility, when we are saying it may be present or absent. In some we can see flagella, right? Because in some we can see flagella, right? Then the mode of reproduction. So when you are writing about each kingdom, these many features you need to mention. Okay, whether it is present or absent and how it is, that you need to mention. Reproduction by asexual method. Sexual reproduction is not present, that you know, in kingdom Monera, in the lowest level of organism, it's not present. So asexual mode of reproduction is there, or conjugation you can see. In some you can see conjugation. That's about kingdom Monera. And what about kingdom Protista? In kingdom Protista, just next to the kingdom Monera, make next column kingdom Protista. So here you can see cell type. Cell type is eukaryotic, right? And you can see here complexity of body, that is unicellular. Here no multicellular organism. In which one? In kingdom Protista, unicellular. While learning about kingdom Protista itself, we said single celled eukaryotes. So here unicellular organisms are there, and tissue system also absent. That is absent because already they have only one cell, right? Then ecological role. Producers you can see, consumers are also there, then decomposers. So all types you can see. Okay, then their cell wall. Cell wall may be present or absent. In some you can see the cell wall, and some organism it is absent. Then about chloroplast. In the same way, chloroplast also present or absent. Okay, it may be present or absent. Then nucleus. Nucleus, actually we didn't say the nucleus of kingdom Monera in that incipient, and here in the kingdom Protista, well organized nucleus you can see, well organized nucleus. Okay, then what about the nutrition? Nutrition may be autotrophic or heterotrophic. Then motility, they can move, so motility is present. And here the reproduction is asexual and sexual mode, both you can say reproduction. Right, so these are the general features or characteristics of kingdom Protista. Then what about kingdom fungi? In fungi, we know that cell type, it is eukaryotic. Eukaryotic cell type, and the body complexity, unicellular or multicellular. Okay, unicellular types are there, and from unicellular types to multicellular types you can see. And the tissue system, absent. So tissue system is absent. Then mainly their ecological role is they are working as decomposers. So fungi generally they are the decomposers, and they have a cell wall which is made up of chitin. Cell wall is made up of chitin, and in that chloroplast is absent. Chloroplast is absent in fungi. And their nucleus is well organized. So here from Monera, you didn't see a well-organized nucleus. So from there, when we are moving to kingdom Protista, from there onwards, you can see well-organized nucleus. Okay, in kingdom fungi also well-organized nucleus is there. Then their nutrition, they are heterotrophic. That means they have whether they are saprophytic or parasitic. They are depending on other organism for their food. Saprophytic or parasitic mode of nutrition, that is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And motility, they are motile, and the flagella 9+2 forms flagella it is present. And here asexual and sexual mode of reproduction you can see, asexual and sexual mode of reproduction you can see. And the sexual mode of reproduction means that we can mention as zygotic mode of reproduction. Zygotes are forming. Okay, zygote is getting formed, and that's how sexual reproduction is taking place. This is in fungi, kingdom fungi. Remaining two kingdoms are kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. So here kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia, here you can see that about kingdom Plantae, what and all you can write, it is eukaryotic, and definitely it will be multicellular. Then tissue system is present. Right, then they are the producers, and they have a cellulosic cell wall. Then chloroplast, it is present. That's why they are doing photosynthesis, right? And they have a well organized nucleus. Then they are autotrophic. We said they are autotrophic in nature. So the nutrition is autotrophic nutrition. And they are doing the photosynthesis also, right? And here in kingdom Plantae, motility. In some forms, motility is present. Okay. And asexual. Asexual reproduction is taking place by vegetative means, and the sexual reproduction, that is by spore formation or by zygotic method. Okay. Then the last kingdom, the most evolved kingdom, which is called as the animal kingdom, that also we need to mention. So in the animal kingdom, you know, the organisms are eukaryotic. Okay. Then in them, multicellular, the organisms are multicellular, and here we know that tissue system is present, right? And animals, they don't have autotrophic nature, so they are the consumers. They are not synthesizing on food. And cell wall is absent. They don't have a rigid cell wall, it is absent. And chloroplast is also absent. Then they have a well organized nucleus. Then mode of nutrition, autotrophic. They are doing photosynth sorry, this is animal kingdom, so they have a heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And they are not doing photosynthesis, right? They don't have chlorophyll, and they are heterotrophic in nature, so they're not doing preparation of their own food, right? So they are not making their, they're not synthesizing own food, and they are having heterotrophic mode of nutrition. That means holozoic or saprophytic or something like that. That means they're not synthesizing their own food. And motility, that is present. Okay. And in that, in this kingdom of animalia, you can see asexual and sexual mode of reproduction. Asexual or sexual mode of reproduction, depending upon the type of organism, you can see. Clear? So these are the main things which we need to learn in this chapter. Just make a table for comparison of all these kingdoms, so that you're covering almost all the features: cell type, complexity of body, tissue system, ecological role. Then chloroplast is there, cell wall is there, nucleus is there, nutrition, what about the nutrition, motility, then reproduction, which are all mode of reproduction they are following. So each characters in each kingdom, how these characters are expressed, whether it is present or absent, and how was it or how it works. Okay, that you need to learn. And in each kingdom, any classifications are there, that also you need to learn. So under this chapter, again, under this table, again, you are creating the classification in each kingdom. And is there any example to learn, that also you'll mention there only. So it will be within 2 to 3 pages, you can wind up this chapter, all the important points of this chapter. Okay. But the characters of each kingdom you should know well, because like that only you will get questions. Okay. So if you are not knowing it well, you don't have a clear idea, you will get confused about the characters or the features of this organisms which are belonging to different kingdom. Okay. So in the next class onwards, we'll be moving to the questions, previous year questions. So we are trying to cover almost all the questions, mainly or minimum number of questions. We'll try to cover minimum 100 questions from each chapter. We'll try to cover so that it will be easy for you to attend each and every type of question. Okay. So in the next class onwards, we'll be learning the previous year questions also. We'll go through all possible questions from this chapter, which are there in the previous year question papers. Thank you.